And we are live.
We
Hello.
are.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, even. Welcome to, I think this is the ninth live for the 1001 Nights, so the Arabian Nights. And I'm joined again, I'm glad to say, by James at Quaint and Curious Volumes.
Hello.
And we are talking today about quite a large chunk of the 1001 Nights. So we're going from night, I think it's 418 up into 536.
Right. Yes.
Then we're taking quite a lot here.
Yes.
I have got pages of notes. I decided not to have them on my Kindle this time because it was a hassle to try and scroll through stuff. But we run the full gamut here.
Yes.
In tonight's tales.
Oh yeah.
There are some I don't think we're gonna hardly mention much more than the title.
Exactly. Yeah. There are some that are very lightweight and repetitive, and some that are like genuine epics within epics within epics. So
we have the nesting stories back towards the end of this. I was wondering as we're going through these ones, I thought this is all a little bit samey. And then at the end we get a big old tale within a tale.
Yes.
And mostly Scheherazade and the king and Scheherazade's sister have disappeared again for this.
Yes.
They do. I mean, they come back in blocks, and sometimes we end up in their story just for a little while.
A little bit, yeah.
But this is nearly 200 pages, where other than Scheherazade saying at the end of each evening, wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, the formula. Yes.
Yeah.
Some of these stories, though, one might think are a bit pointed.
Yes, there's a few gender battles.
Yes.
And there's quite a lot of moral instruction as well.
Yes, and there are stories about unjust kings and the punishment that comes to them sometimes. So, but they're kind of slight stories, to be honest. Yeah.
There's also a story where someone who really sort of deserves a little bit of punishment actually, has everything laid out to him on a plate as well.
Yeah.
I suppose that's to balance things. I mean, we have in amongst all this the usual panoply of richness, decadence, indulgence, as well as reading this book. I've also been dipping into The Silk Roads by Peter Frankopan in the last month. And the first chunk of that I think it might mention the Arabian Nights in passing at one point. It does go on about Baghdad at the time that this was being written.
Right.
But some of the largesse being shown by people, some of the indulgence, some of the riches on display.
Yeah.
This really was like the marketplace of the world at the time.
Right.
And it struck me that some of this might not be as much of an exaggeration as it first appears. It was quite an eye-opening. There were people doing some crazy things with more money than sense, I think is the way to put it.
Sure. Yeah.
How things have changed.
So this is a nonfiction book that you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. It's I feel like I've been sold a little bit of a pup on this one. This is The Silk Roads, and I thought it was all going to be about ancient trade routes, all this sort of stuff. Sure. And the first part is, but I've still got about 30% of it left to read. It's quite a long book, and we're up to like the Second World War. It's all of history rather than ancient history. But yeah, I mean, for that first section, it's really interesting.
Yes.
Rashid gets Harun al-Rashid does get a shout out.
Of course. Well, how could you not?
Yeah. As do the Barmecides or Barmecids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're talking about Harun, you're going to have the Barmecides.
Yeah. And he was talking about how cosmopolitan it was as well. Yeah. As well as sort of like taking. You see that in these stories, they're taking all these stories from all over the place, but the scholars have come with it.
Yes.
So I mean, this is, you think of this being sort of a sort of cornerstone or foundational sort of piece of Arabic literature, but it is much more than that. It is just it is a complete melting pot.
Right.
I mean, we have Christians, we have Jews, we have. I think there's another tale. Part of it is in China in this one. I think I can't quite remember, but
I know we go to Afghanistan and Central Asia, all over the place. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And India as well.
Which is where lots of like I think the kernel of the stories actually sort of came from there. Some of them are very sort of quite a lot older than 1001 Nights.
Yes. Yeah. So should we get started with the stories themselves?
Yep.
Where are we?
The first one I've got is called Al-Amin, son of Al-Rashid, and his uncle Ibrahim bin Al-Mahdi.
Yeah, okay.
And that was just a nothing tale.
Right.
As far as I can make out. I mean, yeah, this is it. We're going to gloss over some of these.
Right. Yeah, that's quite a few of these are until we get to, I think, Night 419, the dispute about the merits of men and women.
Yeah, we could talk about that. So, I mean, we've got another one here, which a brief story about some health advice that was written on a goblet.
Okay.
Al-Faf bin Haha and the Caliph Al-Mutawakkil. But again, I've written like a one-line response to that because there was just nothing there, really. But then, yes, we do get to the man's dispute with the learned woman concerning the relative excellence of male and female.
Yes.
And this, I mean, this takes a hard turn, I think.
Oh, yes.
So they do get into a debate, basically, over who's better.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that the man using the poetry of Abu Nawas was quite the right tactic.
Well, yeah, they start off by debating it in terms of the Quran.
Yes.
Right? So, the Islamic law about the relative weight of the life of a man and the life of a woman, like a man is twice as important as a woman in certain terms, right? But then, they go through certain others and they quickly get to Abu Nawas, who we've met before and was a real figure. And in the Nights, he is a poet, but he's also a drunk, and he's also got a thing for young boys.
Yes. So we get near the end of this tale to what I've actually written down here is "Dear Lord," the buggery poem.
The buggery poem. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how your translation is.
Okay. Well, so this is where they're talking about the value of men versus women as lovers, and to be, as we would say these days, as sex objects, basically. Right. So the thoughts, the desires of the person you're having sex with are kind of beside the point. But okay, so it's been a while since we've talked about this. So when we started this was under the auspices of Shawnee Standfast. May his memory be for a blessing. And he enjoyed reading some of the ribald passages.
Yes, I think these were his favorite bits.
Yes. So I don't know that we'll do this every time, but in honor of Sean D. Standfast, why don't I read the buggery poem in the Lion's translation?
Indeed.
All right. For a man to need backsides is backsliding. Those who are attracted to noble women are themselves noble. How many a witty and elegant man has spent his night treading the buttocks of a boy to find himself in the morning a purveyor of smells, with clothes yellowed by the dye of his anus, showing clearly his shame and his disgrace. There can be no denial on a day that he is defiled by stains of excrement upon his clothes. How different is the man who spent the night riding a dark-eyed girl with magic in her glance. For when he leaves her, she has scented him with expensive perfume that fills all the house. No boy can be compared to her. And how can scented aloes wood be compared to filth?
Penguin
World classic.
Classics doesn't get any better. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that's a better translation than the Burton one.
Okay.
Burton really tortures the English language in his poetry. He's a great writer. He's a terrible poet, but it does start with a line: "Men's turning unto the bums of boys is bumptious." But yeah, it follows the same pattern that the translation that you've read does. Well, here we are. Greg has joined us. I mean, to be honest, in some of these stories, you're never going to be late for it.
That's right.
It's, I suppose, cosmopolitan yet again.
Yeah.
You could say. I'm not entirely sure after that where we arrived at who was better. I think the woman got the better of the argument on this occasion.
Well, I think that after this, she kind of suddenly regains a sense of modesty and is like, I really shouldn't be talking about this with you guys. And then it kind of cuts off. So
we call it a draw then, shall we?
I think so. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that, I mean, you read a couple of nothing tales and then
Yes.
you hit with that, and
yes.
I mean, I've got no further commentary to add. I don't think.
I don't think so. I don't think so. We can move on. But I think that's about as ribald as it gets this time. We've had some patches that were considerably more blue, as they would say. But
yes,
yeah.
And I think that I can't remember which one it is, but there's a little bit that later in here that I was a bit of an eyebrow raiser. But the only thing I have in notes for the next one, which is Abu Sawad and the Pretty Old Woman, all I've written is cougar.
I think that's about the sum of it.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yes.
And then we have the Emir Ilbin Altahir and the girl Munis. And she is a slave girl who is the Emir is so pleased with her that he buys her for 70,000 dirhams. I have here. But she is one of a few very capable women who turn up in the tales today.
Yeah.
We will get to the person I'm thinking of in a little while, but we also have a very short story, which I don't think I'll put any notes down for. The woman who had a boy and the other who had a man to love her.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, a tall tale about tales, Greg. But then we move on to something which has a little more substance to it.
Yes.
And this is the guy who I thought he's been rewarded here for some pretty poor behavior. So we have Ali the Kreen and the Haunted House in Baghdad. So we do have the return of magic here, which is good news. So Kyrene, someone from Cairo, anyway.
Kyrene, yes, yeah.
So we start with Hassan the jeweler, who lives in Baghdad. He makes an honest living. He makes a good fortune. He leaves it to his son, Ali of Cairo. And on his deathbed, he warns Ali to be generous and to be charitable. You'll be surprised, I'm sure, to hear he doesn't take this advice.
Right.
And I do think you have to worry if you have an acquaintance called Iblis the Accursed.
Right.
I'm just going out downtown with Iblis the Accursed. Are you sure you're going to be all right?
Oh, it's fine.
So he goes off and he gets tempted into drinking.
Yes.
So here we have a moral lesson.
Yeah.
And he ends up spending all of his cash. So he's very profligate. He's not charitable. He's just a spendthrift.
Yes.
He's surrounded by people taking advantage of him. And then he is destitute. And at that point, no one will help him.
Right. And he's sold off the inside of his house and then his house itself. And he and his wife and child are destitute.
And
yes,
he pays so little care towards his wife.
Yes, that's right.
I did a little bit of a sort of Timon of Athens at the beginning of this, where it's like he spent all his money and he's sure all his friends will help him. No one will. But instead of wandering away,
you thought everyone was telling you, Gavin, there's no point reading all those minor Shakespeare plays. They never come up. But there you go. There you go.
Well, the idea that there is a Timon of Athens, there might be a lost Shakespeare play, Pumbaa of Athens, out there somewhere. We don't know. But instead, Ali of Cairo turns into a wandering con man.
Right, he does.
So he's living by his wits, shall we say, but not making the most honest of livings and completely having forgotten his wife and child.
Yes.
He arrives in Baghdad. I think there's a storm. And he fools some people into thinking that he was a merchant lost in a storm and he's lost all of his caravans.
Right, yeah.
When in fact he had nothing.
He had nothing at all.
His back.
Right.
But he takes up residence in a haunted house.
Yes, right.
No one wants to stay in this house because it's haunted, but he... It's at this point that he actually prays.
I believe it is, yeah.
And that really is the magic word.
What is it, though?
All of a sudden, I mean, I've put here he receives a golden shower, but there's money falls on him. But literally, you know.
Yes.
As I rather than a figurative one.
As I recall the story, he's lying upstairs in this haunted mansion and he hears a voice. And the voice says, "Are you Ali, son of whatever his father's name was?" He says, "Yeah." And he says, "Then I have this for you." And then it says that gold just like falls down on him and fills the entire room. And then the voice comes back and says that it is the servant of this fortune, basically. So it's some kind of supernatural force, a jinn, that is the servant of this fortune. He says, "This was for you. It's been waiting for you." And every other person who's come and stayed in this haunted mansion has been terrified by this voice because they were not named Ali. They fell down the steps and broke their necks and died. Furthermore, there's another fortune for you in Yemen of the same amount. You should go there and get it.
So he becomes, I mean, this ghost, I mean, let's call it a jinn or a genie because he becomes master of it, which is, you know, par for the course.
Right, yes.
And he gets everything that he wants, basically.
Yeah, he does.
And he makes good. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the moral is here.
I
The only thing I can think of is that at some point he prays, but he only comes to that in extremis. He's burnt all his bridges. He's spent all his money. He's pretty much at the end of his tether, and only then does he think, to pray. It sounds from the story that he has not prayed for a long time.
Yeah, and this is very common in these stories, that people, when they think that they're about to be murdered by pirates, eaten by apes, drowned in the ocean, that's when they will say, "There is no God but God," and they start to pray. But the thing with this tale is that it's not that he didn't get it because he was praying. He got it because he went into the right haunted house where this jinn was happening to wait for him to shower him with gold. And anyone else may have been perfectly devout and may have been praying all along, but they weren't named Ali, the Kyrene merchant, and so they fell down the steps and died.
So where is the moral of the story?
I don't think there is one.
Are we looking for something that isn't there?
Gavin, I don't think there's a moral to this one.
Okay, well, you put that one to bed then. But that one was, there was a longer, more involved story. He's not the most pleasant of characters, but he's also he's more just a bit dim and easily led than he is evil. Yeah,
I mean he's kind of clever in one way. And if I'm remembering this story right, after he gets the golden shower and the jinn tells him, "Look, there's another for you in Yemen. You should go and get it." He says, "Well, you're my servant now, right?" And the jinn says, "Yes." And he says, "Well, why don't you go and get it?" I don't have to go to Yemen. Go there and also get my wife. So at least he does it.
That point, he remembers he has a family.
That's right. So at least he's not like, that's in Egypt, He does go and get his wife and his child back. So
what's in Baghdad stays in Baghdad. He gets,
that's right.
But he gets the money first, like the second lot of money first, before he thinks of he thinks of his family.
Yeah.
The next story is one which I think is what you're saying about bad kings. This is the pilgrim man and the old woman.
Yeah.
And it's just a story against tyranny. There's an actual meaning to one of these tales.
Yes. This one is. And it reminded me a bit of the city mouse and the country mouse, but it's not exactly. But there is a pilgrim to Mecca, and he finds himself lost on the way and encounters this old woman, and he's starving, and she's like, "Well, I can feed you. Go get me a bunch of snakes." And she cooks them into a soup, and he's like, "I'm not into it, but okay." First of many snake references in this. Then she sends him to go and drink some water, and it's really bitter water. And he's like, "How do you stand it here? Why do you live here? It's terrible." And the old woman says, "Tell me, are you subject to a sultan who rules you unjustly? And if any one of you is guilty of some fault, the sultan seizes his wealth and ruins him. Well, if he wants, he can drive you from your house and uproot you." "That may well be," the man replied. And the old woman said, "Then by God, that delicious food, that pleasant lifestyle, and those pleasures when combined with injustice and oppression are deadly poison. While our food, eaten with safety, is a theriac," which I, like probably everyone else, had to look up, is an old-timey cure for poisoning. But there you go.
So, I mean, it's exhorting rulers to be good.
Yeah.
Because basically it's saying, well, look, if you're a good leader, your people are going to put up with pretty much anything.
That's right. Yeah.
Because you're sort of all on the same side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it that there's a meaning to this, and I do like that there is a meaning to some of this. The next one as well. The next one is one of the long stories for tonight.
Right.
Now I've got to say that this is the one I sent you a message on. I was about a few nights into reading this, and then I realized I've already read this, because I had read this in the Madras and Mathers translation before I switched to the Burton. But because it's a different translation, and because the spelling and the names is different, I was looking going, and because some of these are quite samey stories. It wasn't until a few nights in I thought, no, this I definitely have read this one.
Yeah.
So we have another man who Abul al-Hassan, who has squandered his inheritance.
Oh, what?
This is apparently what you do with inheritances. you just fritter them away.
I think this happens to just about every protagonist in this month's batch of stories.
But he sells everything to fund his lifestyle until he has just one slave girl left.
Yes.
But she's an absolute star. This is Taldud. She persuades him, look, sell me, you'll get a good price for me, but take me to Harun al-Rashid. So Harun al-Rashid
again. Yes, that's right. That's right.
But what we have that follows over the next 25, 30 nights is a prolonged series of question and answer sessions.
Yes.
Harun al-Rashid gets all of his best and brightest advisors together, and one by one, they try to trick the girl Taldud and prove that she, isn't all that she claims to be.
Yes, she says that she knows
everything,
basically everything. Yes,
I mean, you would definitely want her on your pub quiz team, because she does know everything and some very odd things as well.
Yes.
And one by one, she literally wins the clothes off the backs of all of the advisors.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually think this is quite an instructive story in a way.
Okay.
You will learn an awful lot, assuming everything in it is correct.
Well, yeah.
But a lot about things you don't really normally think about, for example.
Sure. Yes. How many letters are in the Quran?
Yeah, I mean, that's possibly not the most interesting sort of stuff. But this happens in the best books. In the Bible, it's all stories until there is a detailed explanation of exactly how you should build a synagogue or a tabernacle.
Right. Yes.
And it goes on for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
But she beats them all.
Yes.
And Harun al-Rashid at the end turns around and says, you're fantastic. He gives out Abu al-Hassan, I think it was 10,000 dirhams that he was paying for her, and says, I will let you Taldud as my possession. I'm now granting you sort of anything you want.
Right.
And what she wants is to stay with Abu. Why we don't know, because the guy's an idiot, and he's only got 10,000 dirhams,
right,
which you've just made sure he's got,
right,
and yet you're still wanting to be his slave.
Yes.
So at the end of it, as smart as she is, you're left questioning her judgment.
Right. She's only 14 years old, so maybe she'll figure things out.
I mean, she's a very bright 14-year-old.
Yes, indeed she is. Yes. She's also stunningly beautiful, and her buttocks are heavier than sand hills. So, there's that.
Yes, there's a lot. I mean, I'm never going to look at a desert in the same way again.
Or the moon.
Well, definitely the moon.
Yes.
But I didn't mind that story. It went on a bit. It dragged a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And she could maybe have done with being tested by one or two fewer of Harun al-Rashid's coterie.
Yeah. Well,
But you know, it was an oddity in this, but I did find it quite interesting from a perspective.
It reminded me a bit of something I read about the Divine Comedy by Dante, which is that it's very valuable for scholars of medieval Italy, because if there's, if you're curious about what sort of things they knew and were thinking about at that point in time, you can look in the Divine Comedy, because there are references to so many things. And this is kind of similar in that, well, it's a lot more systematic. It's like, here is, how we think about Islamic law, and here's what we think we know about anatomy and alchemy and all these different things that at whatever point in time this was written, obviously not Harun al-Rashid's lifetime, but at a certain point, you have a pretty good catalog of the range of knowledge that people might have had.
Yeah. But what you're saying is, despite all of that, the Divine Comedy, it's not the most riveting read. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I've read Inferno. I haven't read Purgatory or Heaven. So
Purgatory is pretty fun. Heaven gets trippy, and there were parts of some of the later stories that we'll talk about today that reminded me of the Heaven sections of the Divine Comedy. So it is curious that when Dante Alighieri goes to hell, he meets so many people that he happened to have hated during his own lifetime. It's like, what a coincidence. Of all of the people you possibly might have run into.
I might have to read the other two bits, because I enjoyed Inferno, but you always think, well, do you know what? There's probably going to be the most interesting people here.
Yeah, yes, there
are. So that was Abu al-Hasan and the slave girl Taldud.
Yeah.
We then move on. So 462. So let's get a bit of a move on. Then we've got a series. I don't know if we want to just talk about maybe all of these in one go. Mm-hmm. So the Angel of Death with the proud king and the devout man. The Angel of Death and the rich king. The Angel of Death and the children of Israel. The king of the children of Israel.
Yes.
And I've made one note for the first story, which is nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And you'll die anyway.
That's right.
And then I've just got the same for those other two stories, because they're pretty much echoes.
Basically, death comes. People say, "Can I do anything? Do I have any more time?" There's no bargaining. It's time.
Yeah. Yes. But the devout man gets more time because he's been devout. Is there anything he needs to do to sort out his affairs first?
Mm-hmm.
But that's because the devout man doesn't need to repent of anything.
That's right.
His ledger is fine. He's sorted, and he's actually no, I'm fine. Take me now.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas all the other ones is like, oh no, can I just do? Can I try to fit all my charitable works in now? And
right. Yes.
The Angel of Death is not to be bargained with, as you said.
Exactly. Yes. And then there's Alexander the Great comes in and has a similar conversation as the merchant and the old woman with the snake soup.
That's Alexander the Great, is it?
Yeah. This is night 464 in the Lyons translation.
I've got in Burton it's Iskander Zu al-Karain.
Oh, Iskandar is
Iskander Alexander. Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah. So Iskander Zu al Karain and a certain tribe of poor folk.
Yes.
So yeah, King sees the error of his ways with a memento mori, basically.
Yes.
So there is time if you are willing to learn the lesson. There is time to change it all around.
Yes. Yes, I think this is another one, perhaps pointed at King Shahryar about.
So Scheherazade is pointing that at King Shahryar.
Yeah.
Who are the writers pointing it at? I mean, the guy
Right.
who's employing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I suppose you have the plausible deniability. Oh, I'm not talking
it's
about
not
you,
you.
sir.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander, he's Greek, He's,
And of course, died very young and suddenly. So maybe he didn't get a chance to learn a lesson. And then Scheherazade schools the king a little bit.
Yes.
In the next one as well, the righteousness of King Anushirwan.
Yeah.
So the writers are schooling their ruler, Scheherazade schooling the king. So again, we say it's repeated over and again. This bit that you said about, maybe the rulers should take note.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, who are they writing this for? Because who's hearing these stories? Are these stories escaping, the place of learning? Are these tales working their way around Baghdad back in the time that they're being compiled? The next one I've got is the Jewish Qazi and his pious wife. So more moral instruction, but also Jewish people, when they're talking about God, using the word Allah.
Yeah. Yes.
Which, I don't know, is that cosmopolitan or not? I'm not entirely sure. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
But you do see it a few times that, you can have it. You have devout people of any religion in these tales, which
that is true. Yeah,
which is pretty accommodating for 10th century thinking, I think.
Yeah, and again, it varies depending on the tale, because in the big military epic that we read about the war against the Byzantine Empire, there's basically any Christian was devious and evil. So, and clearly that was written by someone else other than the people writing these.
But they are, I suppose at that time, just very plausible enemies.
Yeah.
It's certainly what people would be used to, I think.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. So we had the Jewish judge and his virtuous wife, the shipwrecked woman, the pious black slave, the pious Israelite, and his wife. So there are quite a few pious Jewish people in here, although they use Israelite for people who are clearly Muslim at certain points in here. So I'm not
interchangeable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but these kind of a bunch of these are kind of those little short ones that sort of get a bit mixed up for me. So
yeah, you have I didn't put anything down for the pious black slave, and then we had before that the shipwrecked woman and her child. So this is the importance of being pious and also giving birth on a piece of driftwood, which is
nice.
Handy skill. The devout tray maker and his wife. That was an odd one. So that is, it's good instant karma.
Oh, this is the smith who could put his hand in the fire. In mind, yes, a man who is immune to being burnt because he is so pious.
Oh no, it's a different one. I've got this is like 468. I've got that. The
Okay.
devout tray maker and his wife.
Oh, okay. This fellow was a pious Israelite in the
Okay.
Lyons translation. Yeah.
Al-Hajjaj and the pious man I've got before. So I've got prayer as a prison escape.
Okay.
And then we get to the blacksmith.
Right.
So, but again, it's just the same story. But this time, he has an almost sort of magical power.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the fire does not affect him.
Right.
Which is handy if you're a blacksmith, I suppose.
Yes.
Saves a whole amount on tools.
Yes, that's right.
The next one I liked. The devotee to whom Allah gave a cloud for service and the devout king.
That's right. The pious man
This
in
is
his
pretty
cloud.
good. Your own cloud.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's very
Tells
helpful.
you about, and you can perform your ablutions at the end of the day because this cloud follows.
That's right.
So, but the devotee again is Jewish here.
Yeah.
But he becomes less devout, and as a punishment, the cloud is taken away from him.
Yeah. It's very sad.
He has to go to the devout king and learn again the importance of being devout, whereupon he gets the cloud back.
Yes, that's right.
But now him and the devout king and the devout queen all go around with the cloud, basically preaching to people.
I mean, yeah. It's almost cute. It's like,
Magic cloud. It was not to like.
It's right.
It worked for Monkey.
That's right.
Then we have a couple of stories where, again, maybe a bit more of a negative portrayal of Christians. Certainly more negative of Christians than it is about Jews.
Oh, yes.
These stories. But this is the Muslim champion and the Christian damsel, followed by the Christian king's daughter and the Muslim.
Yes.
In both of these stories, the idea is that the Christians are going to either trick or forcibly convert the Muslim, and just by his pious behavior, he actually turns the tables on them, and the woman who they send to tempt him, instead of making them become Christian, actually decides to become Muslim.
Right. Tables turned.
Yes. And that's what, four nights for both of those stories, and they say the same thing.
Yes, basically. Yeah.
So it's a bit like Waiting for Godot. Nothing happens twice.
That's right.
Not a lot, anyway. The Prophet and the Justice of Providence.
Remember nothing about that.
Right. Okay. This was an odd one.
Okay.
Do not question perceived injustice. So we have this prophet who is sat there. He's a bit of a hermit figure. Okay. A man comes along and sits with him for a while, leaves a bag of gold by mistake.
Yeah.
Another man comes along, picks up the gold and leaves with it.
Right. This one.
And then a woodcutter.
Right.
Who then comes along afterwards, who doesn't have the gold. So the woodcutter comes along, is then killed by the first man who comes back, having remembered that he's left the gold.
Yes.
And the prophet is perturbed by this and questions why this has been allowed to happen. But he is told, I think an angel comes down and explains it to him.
Yes.
He's told that the woodcutter who had just been killed had killed the first man's father. So in all of this, justice has been served, even if there's been a bit of a roundabout way of doing it.
Right.
Because the man who picked the gold up had the gold taken off him.
Yes.
by the first man,
Right.
who had the gold at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And the
Yes.
woodcutter killed the first man's father. So when the first man kills the woodcutter for having stolen the gold, even though he's not stolen the gold, he's still paying his penalty. He's paying the crime
for murder.
of murder.
Right. Yes.
The first man, however, has killed a woodcutter who you must realize afterwards didn't have the gold.
Right. Yes. That's right.
He doesn't know that the man he's killed is guilty of another crime.
No, he does.
So, I mean, he was quite a neat little set of circumstances, but I'm not entirely convinced that I'm not entirely convinced by the justice of Providence.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But there is a poem at the end of it which tells the story the same thing again. So, in case you didn't get the first time,
yeah, in case you missed it,
in
prose, here it is in rhyme.
That's right. And then there's the ferryman on the Nile.
The ferryman of the Nile and the hermit. Yeah, I didn't have anything written down for this, and it occurs in less than a night.
Yeah,
so it's probably one of those paragraph-long stories, which, yeah. And then we have, I quite like this one. It's only two nights long. The Island King and the Pious Israelite.
Yes, I think this is kind of an inspiration, possibly, for the Count of Monte Cristo. Short as it is.
It's certainly a short version of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, I've got here a loyal son finds that his family is shipwrecked.
Yes.
He's also shipwrecked. He sees some animals praying. This is not the first occurrence of animals praying in the Arabian Nights.
Mm-hmm.
And joins him.
Mm-hmm.
And the family are reunited.
Yeah.
This is a slight story, but I do actually quite like this one.
Mm-hmm. And he's reunited with his family. They eat fruit and they pray with the animals. And then they are instructed. What instructs them? They're in such how do they learn about this? Oh, they hear a voice. A voice tells them where to go to find a vast fortune. And that's what they do. And by virtue of discovering this vast fortune, they become kings of the island. And
yeah.
Happily ever after.
These people would be so prone to email scams.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. I heard a voice.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah.
Then we have another fairly short one, Abu al-Hassan and Abu Jafar the leper.
Right.
This was odd. So, Abu Jafar the leper is a leper. Mm-hmm. Abu al-Hassan is basically on a tour or a pilgrimage, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to sort of embark on his pilgrimage. This leper wants to join him. And he's like, no, thank you. Don't really want to spend time with a leper.
Yes.
But every stop that he makes from that point onwards, the leper is there ahead of him, and he can't figure it out. Yes. But he knows that there's something important here. He knows he's being taught a lesson. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
But he's not given the opportunity to put it right. The leper almost starts taunting him with his behavior.
Right.
Basically saying, you pretty much had your chance.
Right. Yes.
But he can't. It's odd at this point because we don't know now who's sort of pursuing who.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants to make amends. The leper won't let him, but the leper is always there in some capacity.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a little bit, I'm not going to say Edgar Allan Poe, but I just got that sort of that eerie feeling. It's something always turning up unexpectedly.
Right. Yes.
Well, initially unexpectedly, but by the end of the story, let's face it, pretty expectedly.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
And
then we've got our nesting story.
Yes, then it gets weird.
So I start with the first bit, and then
I want to say one thing before we start on this, because it takes a long time for it to come back around. This is a story within a story within another story within the Arabian Nights, right? So we start with the story of this guy who is a Greek man named Daniel. He's a wise Greek. And at the very end, when it all loops back around, Daniel's son, because of course we start with the father and then the actual thing happens to the son, says that, yes, my father was Daniel the prophet, which would make you say the one from the Old Testament and from the Apocrypha, which would make no sense whatsoever given the timeline. And also Daniel wasn't Greek. He was an Israelite in Babylon. But that I just thought was weird. And I just was reminded of it because this guy was one person, then he's like another person at the end. And I wonder if they just like forgot about it because it was 100 pages later. Like, oh yeah, we got to wrap up Daniel's story.
Do you think they got lost themselves where they were?
Probably. I think they did.
The only Daniel, Daniel in the Lion's Den is the only sort of biblical Daniel I would know about. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, but this Daniel is a Greek and he's wise and learned. And
I mean, there are so many of these stories which start in the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly.
So we start with this guy. So you start reading about this character. So okay, he's a merchant. Oh, this happens, and then he dies. And the story is actually about his son.
Yes.
Always his son, or nearly always his son. Very rarely a daughter.
Right.
But we start about Daniel, but we're talking about Hasib.
Yes, Daniel the Greek, who names his son Hasib Karimeldin.
Yeah. Very Greek name.
Fine. It's fine. Let's not get hung up.
So Hasib is a wastrel. He doesn't apply himself to his studies. He thinks, his father's quite successful.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just coast on coattails. I think the father dies, and
his father dies in a shipwreck. And he had been. Hold on a second. His father was on a boat where he brought all of his books. I can relate, and he survives. So he doesn't die in the shipwreck, but he loses all his books except for 5 pages, and he washes ashore. He goes back to his family. Shortly before he dies, he bequeaths these 5 pages to his son and tells his wife, look, these are going to make him wise and successful, these 5 pages. They're never mentioned again until the very end of this whole cycle.
Yeah. So Hasib is like reading.
Yeah. That's right.
And he's not a good student.
No.
He's a bit lazy. He's not supporting the family, which is the position he now finds himself in having to do.
Yes.
And eventually gets convinced, join some woodcutters. They're going off. They're going to bring back, and they're going to chop down some trees. They're going to bring back the wood. We're going to get some money. We basically survive.
Yes.
And he sort of finally bucks up at this point and says, oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. And he goes off, and it all sounds like it's going to go fine.
His mom buys him a donkey to carry the wood.
Yes. And he ends up, long story short, long nesting frame short, he ends up in a serpent's nest. So, but there are riches down there. He gets tricked by the other woodcutters, who basically passes up all of I think it's honey to begin with, isn't it?
He discovers a hidden cache of honey, which the woodcutters start selling. And then they say, hey, if he goes back to town, he'll say that he found the honey and he'll want all the money for it. So they trick him to go down in there, and they like just leave him.
Yeah.
And then they go back and they tell his mother, your son was attacked by a wolf who killed him and ate his donkey. And we're sorry. So they use the money from the honey to set themselves up as merchants. So they're no longer really woodcutters. But they also, even though they're evil and they tell this lie, they support his mother. It says specifically they like go and they give her money and food every day so that she doesn't starve.
She doesn't starve. And it's weird. It's like that these evil woodcutters are actually behave better towards her than Hasib ever did.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but so as they say, so much for the woodcutters. Hasib goes like probably lies around crying for 10 days and then goes wandering around this honey cave till he comes to the kingdom of the snakes.
So yeah, he's in a big serpent's nest, and the serpents being 1001 Nights.
Yes.
They all sort of start congregating, and another serpent comes along, the queen of the serpents, and they can talk.
Yes.
Because of course they can.
Yes.
And the queen of the serpents starts to tell Hasib the story of the adventures of Bulukiya.
Yep.
So Bulukiya is a guy who becomes king, finds in a gold box in an ebony casket on a white pillar.
Yes.
A foretelling of the coming of Muhammad.
Yeah.
But what he reads in this foretelling of the coming of Muhammad is that the coming of Muhammad is quite a way away, and he's not likely to live to see it.
Right.
So basically, he's looking for a way to live long enough to do this.
Right.
So he leaves his kingdom. He goes on a journey. He's not shipwrecked, but he's sort of marooned or left behind. I can't remember if it's by accident or design.
Let's not get caught up in details.
On an island of serpents.
Yes.
Serpents as big as camels and palm trees.
Right.
And the serpents are praying.
Right.
And he meets the serpent queen. Oh, what? It's the same serpent queen who's telling the story.
That's right.
So then what happens there? He finds his way out of it all. He goes to Jerusalem.
I think
so. He tells a story about Jerusalem.
Yeah.
But he relates his story to a wise man who has, and this wise man has a long-winded plan to get Solomon's ring. And Solomon's ring is going to be the key to immortality, basically.
Right. And for him to be able to meet Muhammad. Yeah.
Yeah. There are talking plants.
Yes.
Because if the animals talk, why not the plants?
That's right.
There is walking on water, which is
an
interesting choice.
Yes, that's right.
But this is not this is not to sort of prove some sort of miracle. This is just to get from A to B by the shortest route possible.
And it's some kind of potion that you have to put on your feet to do it.
Yeah, you rub this lotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be very sort of water averse.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Remo, unarmed and dangerous, running across the water at this point. So where we get to?
So he's hooked up with this guy who says he knows where to find Solomon's ring.
Afan.
And they go and they travel to this place where he thinks he's found Solomon's throne, and he's going to go and get it, but he's not paying attention, and a snake comes out. And it spits fire on him and burns him alive. Not Bulukiya, this other cat who's got this scheme.
Yeah, Afan is a bit. Yeah, he gets caught out.
Yeah, so that's the end of Afan. I don't remember what happens. Bulakia wanders
Bulakia
all over the
continues
place.
his voyage, and he finds this place, which is almost, it sounds like it's the Garden of Eden, basically.
Right, yes.
I mean, maybe the serpents, proliferation of serpents was giving him ideas.
Right.
At this point, we're a bit hungry. We stop. We have some roast camel. I don't know what roast camel tastes like.
Yes.
Don't particularly want to find out. At this point, we come back out of the story.
Yes.
The Queen of the Serpents has relayed this story, but she will not let Hasib go.
Right.
Hasib then cries for 10 days because he is a bit of a crybaby, old Hasib.
Yes.
But at the end of that 10 days of crying, he then just like on a dime turns around and says, "Can I have some more stories, please?"
That's right. Tell me more about that.
During all of this, all these stories, both the Archangel Gabriel and the Archangel Michael have turned up. I can't quite remember what they were doing, but
I don't remember
I
either.
did notice when they arrived.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we get another story. The story of Jansha. So this is still being, I think this story is this story being relayed by Bulakia or
this again, is yes. So Bulakia goes wandering around quite a bit and encounters a city of apes, and then the apes go to war against a city of ants.
Yes.
And so he becomes friends with the apes, and then he leads them into this fight with the ants, and he escapes to the city of Jews, where he makes friends with one of the Jews, and they're just like hanging out, living life. And he gets tricked in a way that I think is reminiscent of something from the Tales of Sinbad, where this guy hires him to ride out to a mountain and sew himself up inside the body of a mule. And then a bird comes and picks him up and carries him to the top of the mountain and is about to eat the mules when he cuts himself out and the bird flies off. And then the guy who led him there says, "Throw me down all those rocks that are up there, which are gems."
Yeah.
And then he does. And then the guy says, "See ya." And he's so
have you've got ants, have you? So just sort of take it back a little bit. So I mean, at this point, I've got in the nesting bit. So we've got the Queen of Serpents talking to Hasib. We've got the man who is between two tombs.
That's
Jansha. The story to Bulakia.
Yeah.
And the story is relating the story of Jansha.
Yeah.
So he goes to
the guy in between the tombs is Jansha.
We don't find that out till later.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I spot the big surprise now. But Jansha on this island with the apes. I mean, you glossed over the bit where he became their sultan for 18 months.
That's right.
They're not evil guys, the apes. Before he runs into the apes, he nearly got himself eaten by cannibals. So we've had cannibals, we've got apes, and then we've got these. They're called ghouls, so demonic shape-shifting monsters. So you've got in the form of ants. But then he does get this weird job. He ends up in this big bird's nest.
Yes,
and he throws down the gems, and then expects to be rescued, and the guy just Then he gets weird. So the merchant, the guy that's tricked him, is sure that no one can come down from there safely. But Jansha does, and he meets the king of the birds.
Right.
Who isn't a bird himself. He's just king of the birds.
Yes.
And the birds all come and pay homage to this king once a year.
Yeah.
And then we get, I mean, this is pure fairy tale. The king of the birds says, "Look, spend as much time in the palace as you like. Everywhere is fine for you to go.
Except
that room." So he goes into that room, obviously, and he sees that some of these birds that have arrived have transformed themselves into beautiful princesses.
Right.
And he is smitten, and he's smitten by the Princess Shamsha.
Yeah. Who's not just a princess. She's also, she's a djinn.
Yeah. And a huge bird.
And also a huge bird when she wears her bird outfit, which is, it's not a transformation, but it's a costume that she puts on that makes her able to fly around. It's
superhero costume.
So weird.
Big bird.
Yes.
And he tricks her by he has to wait another year. So they go through all of this again. So they come around, they pay homage again. He doesn't really get into trouble for going into this forbidden room. He's not allowed to, nor is it really made clear why this room was ever forbidden in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
But they're playing in a fountain.
Yeah.
To play in the fountain, they have taken their costumes off, and he steals her costume and will not give it back.
Yes.
And somehow this is the way to her heart, because she falls in love with him as well.
She does. Yes, she does.
And she offers to take him back to Kabul. So
where he's from. Yeah.
He's from Afghanistan. Which she does. Everyone's happy to see Jansha, who is a prince. Of course, he's a prince.
Yes.
Everyone is happy to see him back. The king and the queen are made up about it. They're going to have a big feast. There's going to be a wedding feast because he's going to marry the Princess Shamsha. She gets her bird costume back and leaves.
Yes.
But she still tells him that she said, I have to go back to my family, but come and find me.
Yep.
I'm at Hackney, the city of jewels.
Yep.
And flies off.
Yep.
And Jansha goes to everyone, where's the city of jewels? No one's heard of it.
No one's ever heard of it.
And if that wasn't bad enough, his father's kingdom is being attacked by the Indians.
Kafid, the king of Hind. Which, to be fair, is in retaliation for attacks that the king has been undertaking against them.
Well, yeah.
Reasons.
Yes, for reasons.
And there's a big battle.
Yes.
And everyone's involved except Jansha, who is in a slough of despond.
Right.
He's moping.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Crying for 10 days.
He decides, okay, fine. I'm gonna go and help. Gets diverted, sends his army on, says, well, look, help my father, and rides off because I think he's found a clue or something.
It's something like that, and he goes to the other direction. Yeah.
He goes through the entire rigmarole again.
He does. Yes.
The clue he has found is he's found the way back to the Jewish city.
Yes.
And he waits until someone comes around offering a job. He's thrown up into a donkey and taken up to a bird's nest. The guy doesn't recognize him.
Nope.
So basically, his only way to try get back to it is to try repeat the process, and he does. Except he doesn't throw down the gems this time.
Right.
He says, "Well, you don't remember me, but now I'm tricking you."
Right.
I'm still stuck up here, having to make this perilous voyage. I didn't find an easier route.
He probably didn't need to, strictly speaking, get hired to do this job in order to get it. Although maybe the guy knew how to get to the mountain. I don't know.
I think he is asking everyone along the way. No one knows. But then he takes the bird's nest route again to get back to Sheikh Nasir, who is the king of the birds. And then he goes on to meet Shah Badri, the king of the beasts.
Okay.
Who is the mate of the king of the birds. And he's still looking for Takni. No one knows where it is. This king sends him on. No, he sends him on to another king called King Shimak, who sends him on to a magic monk.
Right. Yeah.
What's his name?
don't remember if he even had a name.
Yakimus.
That's right.
And they go on a journey on the back of a giant bird with 4 wings, which is, that's got to be better than a bird with 2. And they finally get there because at this point the monk has had a clue. I've heard someone talk about the City of Jewels, so eventually they get there, and he reunites with the princess. Says, next time leave a forwarding address.
Yes.
And only at this point relays the fact, or remembers the fact, that his father's under siege in his home city.
Yes.
By the armies of India.
Yes.
But the army, or the air force, should we say, of Tackney, are going to fight for him. So just like the end of Lord of the Rings, the big eagles turn up when they could have sorted it out in the first place. There's a big battle.
Yep.
The King of Hind is scared off. And everyone sort of, you think, is going to live happily ever after.
Yeah, not quite.
But what happens?
So that is how we get back to Bulukia. And hold on a second. Now, how did we get to the tombs?
No.
People...
Jansha is the guy between the 2 tombs.
Right, yeah.
They after the wedding, they're going traveling.
Yeah.
And they find a pond. They can have a nice, have a little refreshment.
That's right.
The princess goes for a swim and gets eaten by a giant shark.
Yes. And dies instantly.
Yes. And that was a bit, okay. And then we find out that the person relaying the story, the person between the 2 tombs giving the story to Bulukia, is Jansha himself.
Right, because he's dug a tomb for himself.
He's dug a tomb for himself next to the tomb where his princess lies.
Right. Kind of sweet.
Yep.
So then we're back in Bulukia.
So Bulukia says, cheers for that. I'm off now. And then Bulukia meets Al-Qasir, who is also known as Al-Qadar, who is also known as Sergis, who is also known as St. George. But here we're just calling him Al.
Okay.
And at that point, Bulukia is transported back to Cairo. And that's sort of the end of Bulukia's story. I think, isn't it?
There's something like that. Well,
I mean, he doesn't ever get immortality.
No, he doesn't. And he doesn't get to meet Muhammad, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was the story that was told to, getting back to the son of Daniel, whose name is, we've completely forgotten this guy by this point. Hasib.
Yeah, then it
gets weird.
So Hasib returns back to his hometown. He's finally convinced the Queen of the Serpents has made a solemn vow not to give away where the serpents are.
Right.
So he makes a solemn vow, rides back to his hometown on a great serpent.
Also, he's never going to bathe. Because if he bathes, the Queen of the Serpents will die.
Yeah, don't go into the hammam, isn't it?
That's right.
Oh, Greg's off. Cheers, Greg.
Bye, Greg.
Go smoke a camel. So he's driven back on a great serpent. He's not going to go and bathe. He's not going to tell where people are, but he is forced into doing so. He hasn't done this fecklessly.
Right.
He is sort of threatened.
That's right.
He's threatened by the king because the king is on his deathbed.
Yes.
And only one person can cure him, really, and that would have been Daniel the prophet.
Right.
but Daniel is dead.
Right.
So send for his son. And basically, if you don't cure me, if you don't cure the king, we're going to kill you.
Right. Yeah.
There's only one way to cure him. And that, the actual secret,
yes,
of all of this, power, is drinking the blood of the Queen of the Serpents.
Yep.
Wouldn't you know?
Yep.
Eventually, he's told to do so. Basically, I think they're going to kill his mother. They're going to do some pretty bad stuff. Yeah. He goes back to the Queen of the Serpents, who seems to be fine with this.
She's had a good run, but yeah, it is curious.
She's like, oh, look, it was fate. Don't worry yourself. It was all preordained.
You couldn't have done anything about it. That's right.
Yeah.
There was this woodcutter, and I killed him years ago. It was a long story. You wouldn't believe it.
This is a long story, and I don't believe it. But she gives him some last advice that when this happens, you have to clear some of the scum from, where they're boiling up my corpse. You clear some of the scum off. Don't drink the first bottle, drink the second bottle.
Right. Yeah.
He refuses to execute the serpent, but someone else in his cult does so.
Yep.
They brew her up. Does the thing with the bottles, and he gives the first bottle to the Wazir. Yeah. Who is a nasty piece of work. He's basically behind all of this. He has no intention of curing the king.
Right.
Drinks the stuff himself. Drops dead. Yeah. Second one given to the king, recovers.
Yes, that's right.
King makes Hasib his Wazir.
Why not?
And they all live happily ever after until Allah, in his infinite wisdom, calls them to their rest.
Yes, until they're visited by the parter of companions and destroyer of delights. Yep, there you go.
And that's it.
That is it.
That's a huge chunk of book.
It is.
So we're over halfway through now.
Yeah.
I'm on the third volume. If I was looking at this in the Madras and Mathas, I'm doing it still on the ebook from the Richard E. Burton, because I don't think it's never going to sync up again as far as I'm concerned.
I'd probably not, no. And we're about halfway through the second volume of the Lions version. So there you go.
So yeah, we are halfway through.
Yeah.
We've still got some characters to meet.
Indeed. And in this sequencing, that whole nested thing with the serpents is followed immediately by Sinbad. So,
which we've already done.
Which we have already done. And
so we will be skipping ahead a little bit again.
But it's, we had a bunch of kind of middling material for a while. But then we get like this crazy nested tale, and then Sinbad. It's a pretty good run, of a few hundred pages.
It is. It's like one of those. It's like a mixtape, or if you're listening to the radio, and if you don't like this one, you might like the next one.
You might like. That's right. That's right.
At least you can never accuse them of being all the same.
No.
But what you can accuse them of is if you're going to have a bunch of them the same, we're going to stick them all together.
All together, back to back. Yes, that's right.
You think someone they had like 1,001 sheets of paper, where they were just sorting them out into the piles. Moral one, angel of death. Just,
right, that's right. Yes.
Now we've got all the angel of deaths there. They're fine. Right. Now we move on to the one with the fart jokes and the buggery poems.
That's right. That's right. Erection joke. We got another one of these. Okay, we'll put them right next to each other.
It's been a while since we had one of those, actually.
Well, that's true. That's true. It's been a few months.
So, obviously, the writers at this point had well, I've had no problems they wanted to make jokes about. But so if you want to follow along at home and you haven't seen our amazing festive panto special of Sinbad and Aladdin, Sinbad is the next bit sequentially on these tales, and then we will read ahead until I honestly don't know where. We need to find out where our next block of stories.
Well, the night 566 is the next one after Sinbad.
So we're going to start at 566 effectively.
Yes, which is so it's the City of Brass.
Oh, so I've read a book called City of Brass.
Right.
Recently. Yeah, it's a modern fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
A lady called, I want to say Chakraborty. I'm not sure.
I think that's right. Yeah. Is it an Arabian Nights setting?
It is Arabian Nights adjacent. Absolutely. Okay. It's it's not set in exactly that world, but it's very much like it. Mm-hmm. It has everything you need. It has your genies. It has daring escapes. And then one terrible piece of dialogue that took me out of the story completely. Anyway, that's by the by. So we start with the City of Brass, really, which is that's good. That's pretty much a sort of tentpole piece of the story. It's one of the more famous bits, and then we'll see where we end up. How much we can get read for April.
I have some thoughts on that, which maybe I'll communicate to you.
Sure.
Outside of live stream, but I think we can do like 120 pages for the next one, because after that there's like a 200-page story. So probably we want to do this one and then
try to do
that
all
big
that
chunk.
All in one go.
Yeah, and then we'll move on. So
excellent. Okay,
right.
So we will be back in April with the City of Brass, and
Indeed.
Who knows what else. But until then, thank you, James. Thank you, everybody, and
thank you,
let's
Gavin.
say goodbye.